ॐ भूर्भुवः स्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः. Namaste, my dear friends. I am making this video on Amrita Bindu Upanishad. My dear friends, Upanishads, they are the last part of Vedas. First part of Vedas describe and explain the Karma Kanda, all about sacrifices, and the last part of Vedas, that is known as Vedanta. The ending part of Vedas describe Atma, Brahm, and relation between Atma and Brahm. So Upanishads, they impart the very ancient teachings of ancient Hindu sages known as Atam Vidya or Brahma Vidya or knowledge of the self. So there are three main parts of Vedanta literature. First is Brahma Sutra, second Upanishads, and the third is Bhagavad Gita of Lord Krishna. So dear friends, Amrita Bindu Upanishad is a minor Upanishad. This Upanishad is said to belong to the Atharva Veda and is known by two names, Amrita Bindu and Brahma Bindu, meaning a small work treating of the immortal Brahma, or a treatise on which every syllable is like a drop of nectar. It is chiefly intended to reveal how best to attain to Brahma Sakshatkara, to an intuitive recognition of Brahma as identical with one's own self. The best process, the one which lies at the root of all others, the type of which those others are more or less imperfect specimens, is said to consist in mano nirodha, that is, destruction of mind or control of mind. The restraint of all the internal and external, subjective and objective wanderings of the manas, that is mind, till it ceases to be what it appears to be and and attains to its true being, which is nothing but Brahma, the bliss. This state is called Samadhi. The conclusion of all Upanishads may be summed up thus: by a knowledge of the identity of Jiva or the individual self with Brahma, cessation of all evil may be brought about and spiritual bliss attained. And this Brahmajnana can be acquired by an inquiry into the teaching of the Upanishads, followed by reflection and contemplation thereof, which require again the aid of manas, that is mind. Manas is like a wild elephant, very hard for man to control, and it is therefore first taken up for treatment in this Upanishad, Amrita Bindu Upanishad. Harihi Om. Manohi Devidham Pravoktam Shuddham Cha Shuddhamev Cha Ashuddham Kam Sankalpam Shuddham Kam Vivirjitam. This is first stanza, first verse of Amrita Bindu. Pure and impure manas. Meaning of this verse: Manas verily is said to be twofold, pure and impure. The impure one is that which has thoughts of objects of desire, kama, and the pure one, that which is free from desire, kama. Manas is the antahakarna, the inner sense, which undergoes various modifications called vrittis. Vrittis means thoughts. The wise say that it is twofold, pure and impure. Impure as it generally is, it is rendered pure by the innumerable acts of righteousness, that is punya, done in the past by brahmacharya, physical and mental chastity, by upasana or meditation, and other such observances in the present birth. Manas is said to be impure when it is full of desire, when it thinks of objects of desire, when it is altogether free from desire. Mind is said to be pure. Sometimes it is neither quite pure nor quite impure, and sometimes it is quite dull and inactive. Manas, the cause of bondage and liberation. Now the question arises, what is the evil of manas being impure, or what is the good of its being pure? The answer follows verse number 2. Man ev manushyanam karanam bandhan mokshayo bandhaye vishyakshaktam muktai nirvisyam samartam. Meaning, manas verily is the cause of bondage and liberation of man engrossed in objects It leads to bondage. Free from objects, it leads to liberation. So they say, the Antahakarna is the cause of bondage, bandha, and liberation, mukti, in the case of all of us, the children of Manu. Bondage consists in the egoistic thought of I and mine and their cause, and liberation consists in the manifestation in ourselves of the self luminous bliss or Atma. In the Atma manifesting himself in his true nature. When Manas is engrossed in the subjects of sense, in food and drink, and other carnal pleasures, in sound, touch, color, taste, smell, with a longing desire, it causes bondage. When Manas is free from a longing for the sense objects mentioned above, it leads to liberation. Thus, by Anvaya and Vyatireka, by what is called the method of agreement and difference, we find that pure manas conduces to moksha. So, too, do the wise people think. Manas should be completely restrained from objects. Everyone should strive to render manas nirvisaya, to set it free from sense objects. This is explained in verse number 3. Yato nirvisesayasya manso mukti rishyate ato nirvisayam nittam manah karyam mumukshunah. Meaning, since liberation is ensured to this manas when free from objects, therefore, by the seeker of liberation, should the manas be ever made free from objects. This manas is Sakshi Pratiksha, ever directly present before Atma, the witness. We are ever conscious of the existence of manas. Mukti consists in liberation from such bonds as avidya, that is, mukti is attained when manas is dissolved or merged in the heart lotus, when it attains to what is called unmuni bhava or nisankalpta state, the state in which there is no thought whatever in the manas. It is the condition known also as manomani, that state in which there reigns a perfect steadiness of manas. I'll just tell you and explain about mind. My dear friends, mind is originated from Atma. Atma has a very special feature that it gives rise to various thoughts incessantly. Chain of these thoughts constitute the mind, and the first thought or root thought or primary thought, that is I identified with the body. This first thought is called ego, and this ego causes all other thoughts which follow the primary thought. This ego is the false I. So, mind and ego are originated from the Atma. Atma is said to reside in the spiritual heart. Dear friends, to be clear in the concepts of Atma, Brahma, and spiritual heart, make sure they are not different. Atma and Brahm are same. Equally, spiritual heart is also same. As Brahm is omnipotent, omniscient, omnipresent. Equally, Atma is also omnipotent, omniscient, and omnipresent. And the spiritual heart, dear friends, do not misunderstand. Spiritual heart is completely different from the physical and organic heart which purifies the blood. This spiritual heart is the residence of Atma and Brahma. This spiritual heart is also omniscient, omnipotent, and omnipresent. As Brahma is infinite, Atma is equally infinite, thereby spiritual heart is also infinite. So the human body is finite and infinite. Atma, Brahma, and spiritual heart cannot be accommodated in a finite body. So, dear friends, just for understanding, it is all being told that Atma and Brahma resides in the spiritual heart. As just now I have told that Atma, Brahma, and spiritual heart, they all infinite, omniscient, omnipresent, and omnipotent. So, just for understanding, it is told otherwise. There is no location in the body of this spiritual heart and all. So, for understanding, we have to narrate such statements. Otherwise, we have to keep in mind that, like Brahma, Atma, and spiritual heart are also infinite. Next is Nirodha leads to liberation. Nirodha means control or destruction. The result of such a Nirodha or restraint of manas is stated as follows. So this is explained nicely in the verse number 4. Nirast Vishya Sangam Sanriddham Sanniruddham Mano Hirdi Yada Yat Yati Mano Bhavam Tada Tat Param Padam. Meaning, when manas free from engrossment of objects, well restrained in the heart, attains to the Atman's being, then it is the supreme abode. Manas, when completely restrained in the heart, lotus, attains to the Atman's being, that is, it attains to a consciousness of the identity of Jiva and Brahma, to the consciousness that I am Brahma. This attaining to the Atman's state is the result of the restraint of manas. Then there is indeed nothing higher to be attained. Dear friends, make sure mind is said to be pure and impure. So you have to understand this. When mind is moving away from the Atma, it has negative energy and it is moving away from Atma and going towards the world. This outwardly movement of mind that is away from Atma makes it impure. It receives negative energy, negative impressions, and completely becomes ignorant about Atma. Completely ignorant about the self, and hence is known as impure. When this mind is persuaded to move towards the Atma, when it is reaching near the Atma, it gains positive impressions, positive energy, and is termed as pure. This pure mind is nothing but the Atma itself. So, friends, mind or outgoing mind is impure, inward going mind is pure. Same way, ego. Ego going away from Atma is having negative energy, negative impressions, and is called impure. Moving towards the Atma, it is pure. And when it emerges with the or into the Atma, it becomes Atma itself. So these things, whenever we talk about spirituality, whenever we talk about Brahma Vidya, we have to remember these facts. Then only we will be able to understand the Atma Vidya, Brahma Vidya, or the knowledge of the self. Atma Vidya is the most simple and easy, provided we understand each and every term in clear terms. Otherwise, it is difficult. Next, Sri Gaudapadacharya's exposition of Mano Nirodha. Gaudapadacharya, they were preceptor of Adi Shankaracharya. In this connection, a study of Sri Gaudapadacharya's exposition in the Advaita Prakarana. A section of his commentary on the Mandukya Upanishad of the process of Mano Nirodha, which leads to the attainment of Atman's real being, may be found very instructive. Before describing the actual process, he proves by reasoning from experience the declaration of the Shruti that Atma is all and that therefore Manas has no real existence except as Atma. This already I have explained that mind is not having any independent existence because source of mind is Atma. When mind moving outward, it is impure, away from Atma, and cause of bondage. Same mind moving inwardly towards Atma and termed as pure mind is the cause of liberation. I will explain Gaudapadacharya's Mano Nirodha in the next video. because long video is not advisable. Let us move slowly and steadily by understanding each and every sloka stanza clearly. So it will be beneficial to each and everybody. Thank you for watching this video. Please like, comment and share the video and subscribe the channel. Namaskar, my dear friends. Namaskar.